Time for a couple of other topics here. Movie topics. So, Warcraft came out. Did not get the best reviews. I've had people yell at me, people I knew, saying, "Oh, the movie was good. The critics didn't give it a fair chance. They were snobby."
Yelled at you?
Not yelled at me. Well, they just
Dressed you down?
They dressed me down. They chewed me out. I had no dog in the race.
No.
Horse in the race, dog in the kennel. I know this. I always mingle my sayings up, my idioms. But I know horse in the race. I'm a fan of the original Warcraft games. I had them as a kid. I played them before 98% of you guys did. Back when they first came out.
Grandpa hipster.
Hey, back in my day, we were doing it on 28K modem. We were grunt rushing. Anyway, so it bombed in the U.S.
Yeah.
It made like, what, $25 million the first weekend. Not good. However, this is like the biggest movie in China ever, the history of China.
What was it, like 138 million in its opening weekend or something like that?
It earned more than the Star Force Awakens opened in China.
Right.
That's insane.
There's a couple of reasons, though, why this may have happened. Well, one major reason. This movie was done in partnership with Chinese firms. In a land where your entertainment is controlled largely by the government, a movie that has a lot of Chinese money invested into it is going to be advertised heavily. It's going to be partnered up heavily with other organizations. It's going to get the advertising. I mean, how much advertising did you actually see for Warcraft here? Fucking slim to none.
I saw commercials. It wasn't the marketing integration I'm seeing for Ghostbusters recently with like the NBA Finals.
Sure, but you saw almost nothing of it. I'm imagining a marketing blitz similar to, like you said before, the Star Wars: The Force Awakens in China. I mean, that's what I'm imagining that we're getting here. This
Variety article says that there was heavy marketing in China, and I think the game's still fairly new in China, since they sort of opened up their borders to, I think, more PC gaming. Well,
and even though this is based on the earlier games, they did say that there is a huge fan base now for the World of Warcraft in China. So interest is fresh and hot.
It's the interest what it was in the U.S. 10 years ago there now.
Yes.
Like when this was at the height of it, when South Park did a freaking episode about it, like, 6-7 years ago. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It is there now. Wow, was that long ago? Could have been more.
Gee, yeah, I think it was more.
I think it was like 2007. It was a while ago. So that's one of the things. Yeah, they did a lot of planning with their subsidiary, Legendary East, and they worked off of there. So they put tons of money into social media advertising there and regular advertising. They had regional advertising. They had 26 Chinese brands as sponsors.
Yes.
I don't know if I've seen one sponsor in the U.S.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the amount of partnership was insane. Also, there was something like 12 trailers or something like insane like that were not even remote, that weren't seen in the U.S. There was a barrage of trailers in media that the U.S. never even received for this movie.
Computer maker Lenovo, chip maker Intel. Intel wasn't doing shit with it here, I don't think. I don't remember seeing it.
Nope.
Jeep over there. An insurance company. A brewing company.
Yeah,
Holy
Tower,
shit.
however you pronounce it, yeah.
So we're talking like whenever you see like the James Bond movies come out, you see like a beer commercial, you see a car commercial, you see a watch commercial. Think of that, but like multiply that by 8.
Orcs wearing watches and drinking a cold brew.
Holy crap. Let's see, what else? Sunday was deemed a normal working day in China. So...
What they're basically getting at with that is, even with, they tend to launch these on holiday weekends, and for some reason that Sunday was not considered part of the holiday, and it still did that much money. So,
they were several pieces of China-specific footage that was cut for that market, for the trailers.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
That's very smart.
So, what this means is, on a global level, depending on what they put in and what it does elsewhere, there very much is a market for a sequel to this movie that no one thinks is going to get made. But
now it is.
But you're only looking at the U.S. market. You look at what this has done in China and what this will end up maybe doing worldwide, although I don't necessarily see it doing fantastic in other markets. You will get a sequel to this. Maybe lower budget. It may be focused entirely on the Chinese market, but you are going to see this story come to some sort of conclusion.
It made 156 million in the first days in China.
Jesus,
that's insane. It did more than Star. It did more than Star. Imagine if Warcraft did more than Star Wars in the U.S. That would be Armageddon.
Yeah.
At that point, you'd have bats flying out of hell creeks in this middle of the street.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in the U.S. it bombed. So it's a lesson. It's a lesson times two. First lesson is yes. Now, the Chinese market, since there's a billions of people literally, is hugely important to movies. They're not really communists anymore. They're capitalists, quasi-capitalists. They see all the money-making opportunities. They like money. Money brings the world together. We're going to start making movies more in mind with China in mind. Whether it's the opposite, though, whether the Chinese market starts making movies for the U.S. market, I don't see that happening as quickly. But if it wasn't for China, you would not see another Warcraft movie ever again.
Nope.
You would not see a huge epic video game movie ever again. They still might be gun shy. Because here's the deal, folks. We always say that it's roughly, for a movie to be successful, you have to make at least twice the budget back. That's U.S. really when you think about it. Because I don't know the ins and outs of the foreign market as much, but I'm pretty sure that movie studios don't make as much money off of foreign ticket sales in the U.S. I think they make more in the U.S. Someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong. So they have to do more gangbusters overall in the foreign market to make back the same amount of money.
Gotcha. So this 156 million might not be as important as we think it is.
Still impressive.
It's impressive, but it doesn't necessarily mean as much.
That may not mean an $80 million to Legendary Studios making the movie. Maybe it's only 60 or only 50. I don't know. So overall, as of the 13th, the movie's made 280 million, foreign and domestic, on a 160 budget. It's got to hit at least 320, plus whatever the marketing budget was for a movie. This is probably 100 million, maybe 80. Let's say 80 to be safe, but I'll say 100. This movie's got to make, oh, wow, it's got to make probably, let's see, 350 times 2, 700. Excuse me, 250 times 2, 5. We'll say 500 or 600 million. This has to make it be successful.
But if they don't hit it,
they're not going to hit it.
They're not going to hit it. But that, my question is still, do you think they saw enough success in China then to still turn out a sequel, but focus all of their effort on China instead of elsewhere? Which means a smaller marketing budget, which means maybe a smaller budget for the movie overall.
Well, you have to use the same character. You have to appeal to the U.S. market already because you're going to be using the same characters, the same story. You can't just abandon it.
Sure.
You know, if it's a trilogy, I think what that means is they have to, they'll have to tighten the budget. That's probably, they'll have to do that. They'll have to maybe not halve it, but maybe cut it by a third.
Which is crazy for a movie that got panned for looking like shit all the way through.
By the way, the official runtime, Rotten Tomatoes was wrong. It was 2 hours, 3 minutes. It wasn't an hour 40. 2 hours, 3 minutes. Supposedly they cut like 40 minutes out of it. So it was this huge epic thing. Why do you give me that look for?
Because I can't fucking fathom sitting through that
for 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Holy shit.
But at least it might have fleshed the story out. So people getting on me for, it did so well. It's like, it still didn't do well in the U.S. It bombed here. It officially bombed.
Yeah.
And be lucky that the marketing blitz in China was insane, or else you're not going to get it. You still might not get a sequel. You still might not get it because it's still not profitable at this point. It may not be profitable. They might take into consideration all the sponsor money they got though, and all the merchandising, and then they might have accumulated some small profit. Like you said, we'll try another one. It's enough to try again. Or maybe Blizzard says, okay, we want this franchise to continue. We want more money into here. We want to put more money. But also let you know that this movie's been in development for so long, the prime time has passed. They should have released this. This should have came out 8 years ago. I think Sam Raimi was attached at one point.
Yeah, he was.
Way back.
Yes.
If this came out in 2008, this would have done 100 million. Maybe.
Even if it was shitty.
Because, maybe not that much. It would have done a lot better.
It could have had Batman vs Superman reviews and still done a decent amount of money if this was during the height of its popularity.
Yes, in the U.S. So you're lucky almost that, the Chinese market saved it. They just got the PC game is still fresh to them, so that helped out. So it's like, the ebb and flow of one, but usually a movie will always do more business in the U.S. This is a really weird exception that ended up saving the movie from being a total disaster.